Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast. Today it is me, Henry, and Lloyd. How you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate. Not too bad. Good to be here.
Yeah, feeling good. And in front of me is Paul. I'm going to call you the Curl King.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
That's absolute pleasure.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, easiest thing to do. Do you want to explain to our audience why you're on here? What is it you do?
All right, okay, yeah, of course. I'm the inventor of the Curl King.
Mm-hmm.
It started off, it was called the Pro Magnus. It's a device that improves the curling technique. So, scientifically proven to improve the curling technique by 46% in only 80 kicks. So, it's been about sort of 20 years in the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to come out now. I think it'll be launched next month. And we've got a great team behind us now. And it's been a long journey, but that's what it is, yeah.
Fair enough. Do you want to take us to the start of that journey? Like, what was the concept idea behind it? Why did you do it?
So, I love football. I always used to play football. I wasn't the greatest at it, but I love to play, like I suppose all you guys. But I would obsess on certain aspects of it, and you must remember the free kick against France from Roberto Carlos, where he scored a goal.
Yeah.
The crazy bend. And I just obsessed over that. I wanted to learn it myself. I wanted to, so I used to train all the time, try to bend the ball. Just couldn't get it, So it was always in the back of my mind on how I can create that bend. So I did a lot of research on like the aerodynamics of football and stuff like that, or just the ball in general. And I found one from, it was a woman called Professor Kathy Craig. She was the head of sports psychology at Queen's University in Belfast, and they did a study that was based on that free kick. But it was, Barthez, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He just sort of stood and watched it go in. Well, they wanted to know why he misjudged it, why he didn't even react. So they created this sort of VR simulator where they took some top clubs out of Europe, like Bayer, Leverkusen, Schalke, Marseille, got some top players, different ages, goalkeepers, outfield players, and they put them in a virtual reality simulator where they were in the goal, and they started firing balls from the same distance as Roberto Carlos did. So then they would have to predict the final arrival point of the ball once it went in the goal, So when it got to about 12 metres away, the ball vanished, so then they would have to predict the final arrival point. When the ball was going straight, they were like 90-95% accurate across the board. Didn't matter whether they were goalkeepers, outfield players, they were pretty accurate. But as soon as the ball started to bend, their accuracy dropped about 40%. It was massive, including goalkeepers as well. So it turns out by curving the ball, the goalkeeper misjudges it. So visual perception can't comprehend the curve and trajectory of a ball. It's human error.
Yeah.
So that's why Barthez just stood and watched it go in. All the fans behind were like, "Oh, I thought it was going to go wide."
Yeah.
So it's simple. It's human error. And then in order to bend the ball like Roberto Carlos, they found out that he was creating a 600 RPM spin to that ball once he struck it. So
that's a lot.
So that was the first. Yeah, it is a lot, especially in '97 with the balls that they've got. They had then. Like now, the balls are like 300% more accurate. What they use now when they test these balls and stuff like that. This all like welded seams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the balls back then, to be able to do it with that, was
amazing.
They're so much more heavy. Nowadays, you get them in this light material, also with the welding as well. They can make them accurate and also lighter, so you can get so much more distance on them.
Yeah.
To put that much force behind something so heavy, it's freaky. But I mean, you say about the free kick. Obviously, I've seen Barthez put in similar performances with less nice kicks.
He didn't stand a chance, to be fair. I mean, that was unbelievable, And so that was something I thought. So this is where I got my sort of my understanding from what needs to be achieved if you're going to bend a ball. Now, there's levels in free kicks and bending the ball and ball mastery. Like you look at, there's loads of elite players out there that play football that 100 times better than all of us sat here together. But when they come to take free kicks, most people can bend a ball, but then they, like Roberto Carlos, David Beckham, James Ward-Prowse, they just take it that step further. So why? How do they? They're all elite players. So why can't everybody do that? And that was something as well that I started to think about. I thought, well, let's look into it a bit more. So I thought, right, well, the technique is being able to apply spin, because that's what he was doing. So Roberto Carlos said he'd sort of use the outside of his toes and try and cut across it.
Yeah.
But you've got to get the power as well, haven't you? So it's sort of, you've got to get the mixture of creating the spin and putting the power as well. So I thought, well, the technique lies in being able to curl the ball is to put as much spin on the ball. So I thought, right, okay, let's see, like Roberto Carlos has just kicked the ball. It's halfway between him and the goal. It's in the air, spinning at 600 RPM. But it's doing what I want it to be doing now.
Yeah.
I want to achieve that. So why can't I not just take that ball out of the air, put it on the ground, still spinning at 600 RPM, but now when I strike it, it's giving me feedback. You know, it feels awkward to kick, so I have to adjust my body to the ball if I want to develop that technique to be able to master putting the spin on the ball, as opposed to kicking a static ball. It gives me no feedback. You know, it does what I tell it to do. So I can go for 100 kicks of just trial and error, and I'm not going to get anywhere. Whereas if I kick a ball that's already spinning, instantly my mind is adjusting, my body's adjusting to get comfortable, you know? It's like playing, what I say is like when you sit and play a game on your computer or something, you know, put the Xbox on or whatever, and the controller is exactly the same. If you want to go left, it literally goes bomb, left, right, left, right. So when you do it enough times, you don't have to think about what you're doing there. It's just bop, 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 bop. And you play any game, you don't have to think about what the controller's doing.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing. Like, it's called sensation provocation. Amplify the senses, it induces accelerated learning. So that was my theory. Yeah. And then from then on, I just tried to tell everybody about it and try to sort of didn't know where to go. I'm 45 now. I was 22 maybe at the time when I come up with that idea. And I just talked about it to people and everybody was sick of listening. You know? Yes.
Been there, done that.
yeah.
You said you've got some stuff to show us.
So like I said earlier, I mean the journey. I'm hot in here. Sorry, mate.
It's very warm.
It's a hot day as well.
The lights are very bright.
Yeah, I've just walked from the car park and it was carrying that bag. But so like I say, it's been a long journey for me. Just getting it from when it started, not knowing what to do, where to go, to now having some great people on board, which I'm so thankful for. But it hasn't. I didn't just pick up a phone call and it all happened. Yeah. So I had to find out if my concept worked. So I thought, right, okay, what can I do to do it? So I thought, well, I'll make something, a platform that could spin a ball. First of all, because I thought, well, if I kick the ball, is it even going to spin? Is it going to do anything, or is it just going to go straight? Is it not going to do anything? And then that was a rubbish idea. Simple as that. So I thought, right, I'll make this platform. So I'm going to show you it. This is a relic, right? This is the very first product that came out. This is
So he's getting out the first product.
Yes. Yeah.
Making sure that they could hear with the microphones.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Look at that bad boy. Look at that.
Do you want to hold it up to that camera?
Yeah.
There you go. So this is the very first Pro Magnus.
Wow.
Right. So it's a big, thick metal plate. It's got a pancake motor in there, and it's got a cup that I got off an old light lampshade. Welded it on, put some spikes in there, and then I've got sort of wires there that I fix a square battery to, spins it, turn the battery round, reverse the polarity, spins it the opposite way. Yeah. So I thought, right, let's try that. Do you want to have a look at it?
Yeah.
Wow. Might as well pass it. It's a bit weighty, but that was the very first Pro Magnus.
Jeez.
It's like a relic, isn't it?
It's incredible, isn't it?
I'm surprised. I just found it a couple of months ago in the garage.
Oh damn! So hang on, how long ago was it since this came out?
That was probably 2009.
So I was 9 years old.
I was 8.
Yeah, so that was 2009.
And that was a hefty. It's heavy.
That was a concept. That was a concept. Concept model.
Did you take many kicks with that one?
No, not really, because the ball tended to get stuck inside of it.
We'll put that there for visual.
Yeah. So I started. I thought, right, where do I go from here? Yeah. I didn't have a clue. So my now wife said, you need to get a patent on it. You got to try and get that. So I did. I got a patent on it in about 2009, and then I went, right, Dragon's Den, because social media wasn't really massive then. You know what I mean? So Dragon's Den was going crazy. So I went, right, okay. So I rang up Dragon's Den. A woman called Soraya Biz called me back, said, we love the idea. Do you want to come in for in front of the cameras, do a 2-3 minute pitch, and we'll see what the producers think. So I did. I took that, Chelsea ball in there. That's all I had. Stuck the Chelsea ball in, told them about the idea and stuff. They loved the concept, thought it was great. We want to invite you on to the Dragon's Den.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
When's the prototype going to get ready? So I thought, I didn't have the money. It was like, it's thousands and thousands to sort of develop prototypes and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I wanted them to love the idea and then go forward. Like, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have anything.
Okay.
You know, so I had that and an idea. So I said, oh, it's coming. It wasn't, because I just thought they would help us pay for it. But anyway, I said, it's coming. Well, we've got a few months before the end of the season, and then we need to stop filming. But if worst case scenario, we'll get you back next year. I went, okay. So anyway, I couldn't get one made. So the following year, I thought, right, let's get a couple of friends together. I got my parents to sort of put a few quid in, and I got the very first prototype that I made. So this was...
Here we go.
This is...
Prototype number 1.
So this is, prototype number 1. Oh, it's actually even come across. But that's like being retrofitted as well. So this was Pro Magnus number 1.
Yeah.
Show that to the camera.
That was actually, well, it was 2012, but 2013 they stuck this on.
Yes.
So that was, Pro Magnus number 1. That's just the battery.
That's just the batteries.
Oh, okay, Because if you notice, the front of it's broken. My nephew, I gave him a go and he kicked it and broke it. So I had to take it back to
there's a bit of
the engineers. Yeah.
Crack right there.
Yeah.
And then that now only spins one way, if at all now.
Oh.
So
Spins.
And this was in here. They put. This is the motherboard and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Speed control. I had to use an external control for it.
Put that camera there. You can
Basically,
see
the fact you've got a
controls.
speed control and a direction control there as well, originally anyway.
A little bit close to the screen.
Let's see if you can show everybody.
See the...
Very cool.
You can kind of see that. Speed.
Yeah.
Put that there.
We'll kind of put together a timeline here of how it's
it'll probably come to about here, like. But, so that was the proper Mark 1.
Okay.
And so this was... Right, I tested. It's a little bit high, unnatural height. So that was a bit of a problem with the height. It was off the ground. It was about 40 mils, about 4 centimetres.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking looking at the original one. I was like, if you kick that, you're going to either break your foot or you're going to break the ball.
So that was a bit of an issue straight away. I just wanted to show people a bit of an idea, so to visualise what I was trying to think about.
Yeah.
So it rarely got used. That if it did, it would have probably been in 2 pieces by now. So this one was the first one that I made with a company called I think Motion Touch at the time, and they sort of said, well, we can do this, we can do that, and they come up with that, which at the time worked. It did what it meant to do, what it was meant to do, but it was a little bit too high off the ground, and I thought, right, okay. And then obviously my nephew kicked it and broke it, so I thought, right, it needs to be a bit more robust because it's obviously designed to be kicked. Yeah. So that's an issue there. So a bit of trial and error there. So I then got in touch. Since I had that, I got in touch with the university, Queen's University Belfast. Spoke to Professor Cathy Craig. And I told her about my idea, how I'd seen her story and her scientific study about their sort of Roberto Carlos and France and that. And she thought it was a great idea. I love the sound of it. It sounds like it could really work. We'd love to get you over and have a look at it. So at the time, my nephew had already kicked it and broke it, and it was only spinning one way. So I said to them, look, I can show you what I've got. So I flew over to Belfast, met with the team. There was loads of them there. I didn't expect it. Like, it fucking brought everybody there. Like, I was like, oh, God. So we got one of the footballers. He said, I'm a right footer. I said, well, this only spins clockwise. So if you're going to do the inside of your foot, you're going to have to use your left foot. He said, I'm terrible on my left foot. So well, let's see how bad you are. So he was terrible. Like, he kicked the ball, and honestly, it just bobbled. He was I was better than him. So I thought, right, okay, we can't get any worse. Put that down. So it started spinning clockwise, and he was sort of hitting it on the inside of his left foot just to try and get the bend. So when he started kicking it before that, there was no sort of spin of the ball because it's all about the aerodynamics. You know, if you can control the spin of the ball, then you can control the direction of the ball. You know, so the idea was to learn to control that, to get that technique, so you can actually master the control of the spin of the ball. You know, and that's what gets it going. So he had none of it with his left foot. So when he started using that, after about 10 or 15 kicks, you could see the ball was starting to spin more laterally as he was striking it off that. So he started to get more consistent, and it was no Roberto Carlos, but he was starting to get more consistent. The ball was getting off the ground, and it was looking better after about 10 or 15 kicks. And then it just packed up altogether. So I was like, right, we'll call that a day with that, and we'll take it away and we'll see what you're like with your left foot afterwards, see if it's made any difference. And it did. It totally did. Like, he was no Roberto Carlos, but when he was striking the ball after using that, he sort of got the technique in his head and started to apply it to the static ball. And again, the ball was spinning laterally. It wasn't bending because he wasn't putting enough power on it, but it was spinning laterally. He had the technique there with his left foot. So it looked to me and everybody there, this works. This really, really works. So that was the first time I thought, wow, because these were scientific. I mean, these guys were part of like Adidas Predator football boot when it first came out.
Wow,
she introduced me to a guy called. That's another thing. I'll get onto that. But so these guys worked with Adidas very closely, developing all aerodynamics of balls and strikes and stuff like that. So that was the first time I thought, well, this actually should work. The theory seems to be pretty good.
Well, you've got some evidence to prove that it should be applied.
Yeah, so they loved that, and they're like, right, we want to start to do a study on it, see how good it is. But obviously they couldn't use that because it was broken. So then I developed the second one. So I went back and I thought, well, look, that's too high. I need to get it lower to the ground. And I don't know if you've ever been at Abu Dhabi or if you've seen Ferrari World, but this, if you ever look at like on a bird's eye view of Ferrari World, it looks like a proper cool shape of like a sort of triangular thing. And I said, oh yeah, that looks cool. That would look good. Like, so this was Mark II.
Oh,
yeah, solid.
It's much more solid. Yeah,
yeah, much more solid. So this was but again, the height was an issue. They couldn't seem to get the height down.
Wow.
So it's a bit more robust.
Look at that.
So that was Mark II.
Oh yeah, no, I can feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're kicking that, if you're kicking that not properly, then you're breaking something.
Yeah.
Can't toe punt on that.
Nope.
No.
So it's got a couple of scuff marks, so that there's Mark II. That was great.
Here's the question though: does it still work?
No. I tried it. Oh, it's just a rubber cup that'll go straight back in. I tried it, but what happened was when I actually got the batteries out, they were all rusted in there and stuff, So I did try, but that didn't. That wobbles, but it's not. It wasn't meant to wobble. It's had a little thing on the bottom, which I'll tell you a little bit about. That's just been put on recently, within the last few years. But I'll tell you why in a second. So that was great. So it worked. It did what it was meant to do. But both of them, it was just too high.
Yeah.
Sort of too high. So we were like, all right, okay. So sounded, potential, but I still couldn't give it to Queen's University. It was too high off the ground. It wasn't a natural. So I got in touch with my mother. Her uncle lives next door to Alan Shearer.
Oh, really? Oh, damn. That's
true
story.
That's a connection.
Right? That's a great connection.
She got in touch with him and said, look, can you speak to Alan? Apparently played golf with him and stuff like that. Can you see if he would be interested in looking at this? So he said, right, that's his address, send him a letter. So I did. I sent him a letter, and he came back to me through his PR woman at the time. I think her name's Melissa Chappell. I don't know if they work together now. But she came back to me. I never met Alan, which was a shame because he was my hero, one of them anyway. But yeah, so she said, well, let's have a look and see if we can get anybody to look at it and see what they think. So she got me in touch with Les Ferdinand. And at the time, he was, I think he might still, I don't know if he still is, QPR, the director of football.
I think he is involved with QPR. I don't know if he's still director of football. I think he's still involved with QPR though.
Chris Ramsey was the manager at the time. And so we went to meet with him, and I tried to explain the concept on how it worked and stuff with the spinning and all that, but I'm not sure if he got it. He might have. It didn't look like he did. So he just said, look, let's go and have a go of it. So we went outside on the field, QPR's training ground, and he had a few goes, and he loved it, and he was getting some great bends with it, and technique was really, really improving, and he loved it. But the problem is the height. He said to me, look, this is great. He says, but if you can get that at a more natural height, you got yourself a gem. Come back to me when you got yourself a lower unit.
Was that Chris Ramsey or was that?
That was Les Ferdinand.
That was Les.
Chris Ramsey just said, I'm going to tell you what he said, right? He said, well, it's simple, isn't it? If I want to take a free kick there, then I'm going to stand here. If I want to take a free kick there, then I'm going to stand here. And I was like, you're
not getting it, are you?
Yeah. You obviously don't get the concept of it. You're not too sure of it. No worries, mate. I'll speak to Les. But he wasn't interested, really, to be fair. So I sort of didn't pursue that conversation. But yeah. So anyway, that was good. He just said, look, come back when you get something that's closer to the ground. So I went right.
And whenabouts was this? Because we've got 2008, we've got 2013,
2012.
That's about 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah,
it's quite a long time between.
Well, it's starting to speed up. If you think
maybe
that's
2015. Okay. This white one, maybe 2015. Yeah.
2015 time. Okay.
Yeah. So bearing in mind, apart from that one, they all cost me around between £30,000 and £60,000 to develop and stuff like that, and to pay engineers and get tooling done and all this sort of stuff. It cost a fortune.
Yeah. So there's a lot of commitment there to stick by this idea.
It was a massive commitment, a lot of time and effort. And obviously, I was trying to do my own job at the same time, so. It was, so it's trying to, do what you can to get it moving.
I mean, it might be a stupid question, but did you have any times where you were worried that this might not, you've put all this money and time and effort into this and it might not work out?
Yeah, loads of times. It was like a roller coaster. All the time. Like 1 year, great. The next year, the next time, the next thing that happened after this, I had a friend based in Madeira, Portugal, island off Africa. Yeah. So you got to stay with me on this one. So he knew a guy, one of his friends. He knew a guy that knew a guy who worked for Ronaldo's brother, Cristiano Ronaldo's brother, Hugo. Yeah. Okay, because he's got hotels, museums over in Madeira, and his big brother Hugo sort of take care of it for him. And it was this was in 2016 while he was at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Okay, so. He said, I know a guy called Celso. He's my friend. Celso's wife, her cousin is called Luis. He deals with Hugo and he does all his finances and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So that's basically...
Yeah.
We'll get a meeting. I went, So I'm basically going to get Ronaldo through his back door sort of thing. Not his back door, through the back door. Cut. So that, I thought, I don't believe you. I didn't say that, but I didn't believe him. Yeah. My wife was heavily pregnant with our first son. And I thought, well, look, let's just go. We'll have a week's holiday. If it turns out it's wrong, it's not right, we'll, what do you call it? We'll just, at least we've had a holiday.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went over there. Lovely island, beautiful. And then, so we met up with Celso. Then we met up with that Luis, and we went down to Funchal, which is like the sort of like the capital. It's got where the boats come in, like the area. It's like a port, and you've got like restaurants and wine bars and all up along like the sort of massive big area outside. So we sat down there, and we got a cold drink, and 5-10 minutes later, he just walked across from the other side, and I was like, bloody hell, it's him. It's actually him. Like, I mean, it was him. You could tell straight away. He's identical to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But it was definitely him, and I thought. That was at that time. I thought this is bloody real. This, so he came up, didn't speak in English to me. He might speak English, I don't know, but he didn't speak to me in English. He shook my hand. We sat down. I told him about the concept. I showed him Mark II, the white one, and then he started talking to the other guys and stuff. And I thought from then he doesn't like it. He hates it because he was just looking at it, going blah blah blah, shaking his head. And I thought,
because you can't understand it, you don't know what he's
saying. Couldn't understand what he said
at
all, and I thought, do you know what? He hates it. And then he stood up and he went, okay. I went, yeah. He shook my hand, bang, gone. So I was looking at everybody, going, what happened? What happened? They were like, great news. I went, didn't look like great news to me. Like, I was like, what did he say? He was saying that, first of all, he didn't like the shape of it. It needs to be lower. I thought, well, I knew that. He said, but he loves the concept, thinks it's great. And they were saying, well, what about this? He was saying, no problem. No problem. Yeah, no problem. We can sort that. No problem. We can sort that. So when he was going, no, like that, well, he's basically saying, no problem. We can do that. Yeah, no problem. We can do that. So that was why he was doing that. So, but for me, I thought, it's the end of this. What he said was, get another one, a nicer looking one. Bring it back to me. I'll send it to Ronaldo because he called Cristiano Ronaldo. I know that's on his surname. Yeah. It's his middle name, isn't it? Yeah. But he actually called his brother Ronaldo. I'll send it to Ronaldo. So I went, right, he'll take it to Real Madrid, right? And then he'll give it to his son, play with it, and that. If he likes it, he'll invite you to his house in Madrid. So I'm sat there thinking, wow. Yes, bingo, jackpot, that's it, we've made it. This was in 2016. I thought, that's it. Unbelievable. Cristiano Ronaldo, like, I couldn't believe it. So he said, try and make it like black and gold, maybe get CR7 written on it or something so you can see it. So I went, right, okay. So it took me about a year and a half, maybe just under a year and a half, to get the third prototype.
Here we go. Third time.
I got 3 of these made, which
Ooh.
one of them has CR7 on it, but this one hasn't. I don't even know where that's gone now.
Yeah.
So this was...
Do you want to hold up to camera 1?
Yes, it's a little bit of a
Just that one
difference to
there.
the last one, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's it, yeah. So as you can see, it's a lot closer to the
Very
ground.
different as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to get a different engineers because these guys were limited. That's basically what I got off them. So I met a couple of guys up from Newcastle, actually, and they come up with that.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean,
the quality feels.
Yeah.
We'll ask the question again. Does it still work?
Lights up.
It does, but you might have to press start. Middle one.
It is working.
It does spin. It
spin.
doesn't work.
But bear in mind, it's a prototype. It works. It spins.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have fun with it.
you can see the stark difference. It's not only just the height, but the
100%.
shape.
It's heavy. It's robust.
I love how they've been able to make that one kind of work by removing the space in the middle there, just to bring it down to the ground.
Yeah, it was
moving
good
that
what
out.
they did. Yeah. So when I seen that, I thought this is amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. And as soon as we got it done, I was straight back on the phone. Get Hugo. We want to move forward. Here it is. There you go. Blah blah blah. And he said, right, okay. So Ronaldo normally charges about €2 million to do anything with products and stuff like that. I was like, I haven't got €2 million. I don't have that. I'm coming to him to help us move forward and maybe just see what he likes. If he likes it.
Because if you had 2 million, you probably would have had your
If
finished
I had 2
product.
million, it would be,
Exactly.
it would be up and running a long time ago.
Yeah.
But so I said, no, it's not that. And he just said, well, we're not interested if you don't want to pay for it. We're not a charity and stuff like that, which I understand, you're not.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I wanted him to see this, use it, and because I didn't have scientific backing on it, it just went crashed and burned, and I didn't even get it to Ronaldo. So all of that,
All that hype.
so that was the top of the roller coaster. And then by the time I got to there, my son was born, and I'm thinking, I don't have any more doors. I have no more doors to open. Oh, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm here. I'm this far. I've spent a lot of money, and no more doors are open. So I was like, I don't know what to do now. And then I was speaking to a mate, and he was like, you should have spoke to me. I know everybody. I was like, shut up, man. Like, do you know what I mean? You know,
No, you
one of
don't.
those mates. Like, I know
One
everybody.
of the J's from in between.
Exactly, mate. And he was like, I know everyone. This guy, I know this guy. And I was like, he said, I know a guy called Charlie Hale. Charlie Hale. He played for Man City when he was really, really young. I think he was Mike Baldwin's van driver in Corrie or something like that. And then he ended up doing evening. What do you call them, like after dinner speaking and stuff with all everybody. And I was like, all right. So I looked on Facebook. Sure enough, he's mates with him on Facebook. I thought, well, it's a start.
Yeah.
So I looked into him, did a bit of YouTube research, detective work, and I see that he's interviewed everybody: Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, AJ, all the footballers. Everybody. I mean, he has done everything. So Gaza. A lot, like, you know. So I thought, all right, okay, let's see. So we went up there. He's from Wigan or somebody up near Manchester, Warrington.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Rugby league, massive.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So he's we went up there, had a chat with him, and he loved it. He loved the concept. He had a young son that tried it and absolutely loved it, and it worked great for him. And he said, really, really like it. He said, I know loads of people. He said, but if it's a footballer we're going to put it into, you probably have to go through their agent. There would be fees and stuff like that. He said, I know Brian Robson, Robbo.
Yeah.
He's a good friend. He's a straight talker. If he likes it, he'll help. If he doesn't, he'll tell you. Oh, all right. fair enough. I mean, I was ready to walk away anyway, so I thought,
exactly.
okay, let's go with that then. A couple of weeks later, I've got a meeting with Brian Robson in Manchester. Let's go and meet him. So I straight back up in the car. There he was in his Man United kit, because he's a global ambassador for Manchester United.
Yes.
So he's in his football kit, but he's taking out the rubbish. Like, the wife's just made me take a load of stuff.
He's still wearing the United kit.
He's had his United kit on.
Take out the bins.
Take that off. Put that in there.
Throw him under the bus. Throw him under the bus.
He's a northeast now. Like, he's all right. He'll hopefully be a friend after that. So we met him. He was good, really, really nice bloke, like really sound, really chatty and stuff. And then I told him about it. He understood it. We went on the local field. He's left-footed, so he started taking a few shots. Took 5 shots. The last shot, he whipped it straight in the top corner, bang. And he's like, "Well, just leave that there." I went, "Right, okay, sounds good to me. Pick it up, turn it off, put it away. What do you think?" So then Charlie said to him, "Okay, Brian, pros, cons." He just said, "All pros." He said, "I really, really like it. I love the idea of it. I think it would work. I think you could do something with it." He said, "But I'll need a second opinion. I'll have to get into the academy at Carrington." Currently, at the time, Nicky Butt was a director. Nicky Butt was a director of the academy at Carrington. So we went in there with all the lads, with Brian Robson, Nicky Butt, and a few of the academy lads, you know. And we took 3 of them, and they loved it, absolutely loved it. And Nicky Butt was like, "Yeah, we really like this. We when they're ready, we'll have some, you know." So that was great. Man United locked in. Great. Wow. The academy loves it. It's all good. But bearing in mind,
small club, but
yeah, just a small club. We've got to start somewhere.
You start somewhere.
Yeah. So
just to put that into perspective again, what year was this?
This was 2007. No, right. So 2016 was when I went to so I went to Madeira there, because I know it was 2016 because my son was born in September.
Cool.
My wife was pregnant. 2017 was getting that made. So it was early 2018.
Cool. Right. Okay. I'm trying to think who's in the academy at that point. It's too late for Rashford. Maybe Greenwood was in the academy at that point. Who else? Trying to think. Too early for Mainu.
Well, he would have been in the academy, but younger.
Yeah, maybe Mainu was about. Garnacho was in Madrid at this point.
Okay.
We didn't have a few that many academy graduates come through at that time. Maybe Angel Gomez. Angel Gomez might be a name.
Possibly, I've got loads of footage, so
I'll
send it to you. You can sort of
I know this one. I know this one.
He flopped.
Yeah.
I'll know them all as well. So.
So that was in 2018. So that was great. And then we had the issue, right? So the issue that we had was the mark for curling like Roberto was 600 RPM. Okay. Now the problem we had was that would spin at 600 RPM, but a ball would get to about 300 RPM and then just sort of like spin off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if the ball was slightly wobbly, it would just spin off. So we could never get, unless it was a perfectly round ball, we couldn't get it to 600 RPM. So that was an issue on this one. So we thought, how am I going to work that out? So how are we going to get it to spin faster? So I went back to Mark II, and if you see that thing on the bottom, that makes it wobble. What I did was I got a big, massive lump of blue tack, and I stuck it underneath, because what I found out was if you put it on a smooth surface and then you turn it on, it sort of, where the wobble of the ball made the unit slide slightly, so it sort of slid, and sort of, but the ball stayed in.
Yeah.
But the unit was sliding to sort of counteract the wobble of the ball. You know, obviously the wobblier the ball, the bigger the. So I thought, all right, well, let me get a bit of blue tack on the bottom of it, stick it on, and then make the unit sort of wobble. You know, and like sure enough, it spun. That the first time that ever spun, the second one to its top speed was with a bit of blue tack underneath, and the speed of that ball was just ridiculous. But before I did that, because I've got Brian on board now, I went back to Queen's University and I give Kathy Craig this, the third one. So this is where we got our scientific proof from the third prototype. So she took it and she couldn't get it past 300 RPM. So the scientific backing is based on 300 RPM, not 600. right? So anyway, they tested it. They got a load of students and footballers and different types of level players, from young to old, female, male, and they give them. So they had a control group, which was just a normal football with nothing, and then they done the Pro Magnus group. So Pro Magnus, the reason I call it that is because when a ball's spinning through the air, it changes trajectory.
So the Magnus effect.
Magnus effect.
Yeah.
So that's why not many people sort of know that. Obviously, you do.
At physics A level.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's why Pro Magnus. When I went to Man United, the coaches, they understood it, so they were like Magnus effect straight away. So they got it. And so sometimes I have to explain it, but well done.
Sorry.
No, brilliant. I'm over the moon.
You were the only one I didn't get.
No, I mean,
well, that's why it's called that. So. So she took it, and they had two groups: control group, Pro Magnus group, and they did 80 kicks, right? And then afterwards they done 10 kicks before to see where their current levels were as players, and then they put them on 80 kicks of the Pro Magnus, and then they done around 10 kicks afterwards to see if there were any improvement. Turns out, by using the Pro Magnus, the group that used it were consistently better. 46% better in 80 kicks.
That's a lot.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. And they were all consistently better. So that told me that it worked. But what really got me excited was the fact that the control group, when they were trying to bend the ball after 80 kicks, they were 20% worse than when they started.
Really?
20% worse, yeah.
Damn.
So it was...
So it was a net 60% then?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But that again told me that when we discussed first of all about the levels of players at how far people can get. So the players like Roberto, Brian Robson, James Ward-Prowse, all these, David Beckham, all these guys who are that much better than everybody else. It's got to be natural ability. They must have a natural ability to be able to have that technique. Whereas you're constantly trying to train and train and train. You just sort of get to that level. You hit a wall and you can't get any further. So that's what shocked me more than anything else. Because I did know that was working well. I didn't know how well it would work. But to find out that the people who are actually training with the ball were wasting their time.
Yeah.
They're really wasting their time because they're not getting any feedback from the ball. And it's that simple, So that was great. So once I got that, I was buzzing. Like I've got scientific backing from Queen's University. I then got in touch with through Queen's University Professor Roland Seidel, Senior Director of Innovation and Future Apparel at Adidas.
Oh damn!
I recognise the name.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the guys that helped create and develop the original Adidas Predator football boot.
That's why.
Yeah. So she put me onto him. And he absolutely loved it. So he wanted to get his own second opinion. So we went to Freiburg University in in Germany.
Yeah.
And they came up with the same sort of solution, answer. But it was based on the 300 RPM, not the 600. So it's never been tested beyond that.
At this point?
Yeah. Maybe that's something that could be looked into.
No, it hasn't. We've done the same sort of test, but it's not scientific.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same, but it's not like it hasn't come from a university or anything like that. So this was based on this product. Yeah. So we had a scientifically proven product that worked based on 300 RPM.
Yeah.
We had an idea on how to keep the ball in the cup. We've now got it lower to the ground, so it's a more natural feel. So when you sit that ball in the cup, where it sits, it's between 5 and 7 millimeters off the ground. Where if you put it on grass, it can go anywhere from like 0 to 15 mil. So it's a perfectly natural height. So we had everything that we needed. So then we thought, right, let's get the next one.
Yep.
Let's start developing Mark IV, which was this bad boy here.
Oh wow.
Been smashed but we got about 10 of these. Where are we? Yeah. So we got about 10 of these, which I'll pass that round. It's got like a magnetic clip in there, I'll explain what that does as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at that. So we got these ones. So this was the Mark IV device, because we couldn't get that to wobble because it didn't have sort of, it wasn't symmetrical or anything like that.
Well, you kind of removed the central bit there.
Yeah, exactly, and it needed to wobble. So we had to go back one to make that one wobble. So then we got this one here. Give it different size pivots for different height grounds. you know, and then it wobbled, and it kept the ball in at 600 RPM, so it spun.
On the end. I guess we're going to have to ask the question again. Does it still work?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. Give it a go. Does it? Keep it on. Fingers 3 seconds. For about 3 seconds.
2, 3.
No, but I've got another one that's the same. But obviously you can see the handle there.
Yeah.
So the idea was...
Well, I guess that's for ease of...
Yeah, but obviously it makes it weak.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. So you didn't want to kick this end because that happened on the first one. We didn't want to kick it.
Yeah.
So we would strike it from this direction here.
Yeah.
But people were striking that and smashing these.
Yeah.
But it was still working, so it was robust enough to keep it working. So that was good. So then what we thought we'd do is maybe cut the edges off and try to make it so there was no... so we sort of done this one.
Very streamlined, yeah.
I mean, this was just one of them, but cut off.
Yeah.
You know? So that, again, it's got the magnetic catch.
Same
so that
thing,
was there. That one might work. Try that.
Cool.
Let's give us a go.
Also, do you want just 1, 2, 3, and then...
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Unless I'm doing something wrong.
Unless I'm not holding it long enough.
Yeah. So that was so this was Mark IV, and then we just sort of sliced off the handle, and then we thought, right, okay, we've got pretty much the full package in that, and then so we thought, right, how can we get it looking something like this, and make it work well? So it wobbles, it keeps the ball on. And it spins up to 600 RPM. It's low at the ground. It's perfect. It's robust. You can kick it. It doesn't break. So then this is where we are. So this was the last sort of 3 or 4 years we were working with this, because we had about 10. So we had to get them used. We had to get them kick them to bits and stuff, and go from there. And then this was the one we took to Miami to meet with Roberto Carlos. So
do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Yeah. So. With Brian Robson, he had loads of friends, so he knew a guy called Peter Cowgill, who's the CEO of JD Sports. He's not there anymore, but we went and spoke to him because he was possibly going to invest. The guy's worth, I don't know, 800 million, so plenty of money. You know, yeah, he could have sort of pushed us all the way. But problem is, people who have got so much money, they don't really need any more. Yeah. They'll love to have it, status thing, I think, but they're not sort of in any rush to get it because it won't enhance their life any more. I've only recently worked that out, you know, but at the time I'm thinking, come on, we're ready, what's going on? But yeah, so he obviously, JD Sports sponsored a lot of different athletes and stuff like that, some of them being the F2 freestylers, you know.
Yes.
Billy Wingrove, Jeremy Lynch.
Know the names.
Yeah. So we were trying to get him to contact them and get them to look at it and see if they'd be interested, because this was right up their street. And it just sort of dragged his feet because he's such a busy guy. Trying to get in touch with him and trying to get meetings with him was just impossible. Yeah. His PA, Anne, lovely woman, but she just said, he's not here. Brian couldn't even get in touch with him most of the time, so we had to sort of move away, and I ended up getting in touch with a company called Champions Talent, so it's an agency to get in touch with.
I think I know the name, actually, weirdly enough. That's kind of stuck in my head there.
Yeah, so they represent a few different people, or they might not represent them, but you can get to people through these guys.
Yeah.
So I sent them an email, and they come back to me and said, yeah, we can get you in touch with the F2 guys. So they come back and said, Jeremy Lynch, they didn't work together then, they'd split up then, and then it was about 3 years ago coming up, and about 2021. So it was after. So then we had the pandemic, didn't we? So obviously all of that went, and then so 2021. I got in touch with them and they said, yep, we can do something. Jeremy came back first. He said, yep, send me one in and then I'll have a look at it.
Did they do a video? Did he do a video on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just now remembering, I think I saw that video.
Yeah. It seems like something that's right up their street. Though.
I think I've seen that video. I've got as you were saying, I was like...
Jeremy didn't do a video, but Billy did.
Yeah, Billy
that makes more sense.
Yeah. So Jeremy said he wanted to look at it and then he would sort of come back to us. Billy said, I've heard about this. I'm up for it. I've got so many ideas I can do with it. I'll take it. So
everyone has always said that Billy's the nicer one of the two.
Yeah.
So they say. I mean, I've never met him. I've never met Jeremy.
No.
But I can sort of say Billy is a really, really nice
guy.
So nice. He really, really is. And you think after the video shooting and stuff like that, he's like, oh yeah, I can't be arsed. just so nice. He's so lovely. What you see on screen, I don't know if you've ever met the guy.
No,
unfortunately, no.
Honestly, like I'm on my kid's life, he's such a lovely
dream guest though.
He really is. Yeah,
If you've got the
even better than me.
Well, I
didn't say you weren't a dream guest either.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, touche. So I got in touch with them, and he did a video with Roberto like the previous year of that free kick.
Yeah.
So I said, I just happened to mention, like, I know you did a video with Roberto Carlos. Like, his free kick inspired me to create this product. It would be incredible if he would even have a look at it or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not even 3 days later, he said, "Are you sitting down?" This wasn't Billy. I wasn't speaking to Billy at the time.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Champions. He said, "Are you sitting down?" I went, "Why?" Roberto's in Miami for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
Billy's spoken to him. He said that if you can get to Miami within the next 10 days, he'll do something with it. I was honestly, I was packing my case,
getting the stuff straight away.
I'll be there. Like, cost a fortune, like, but we couldn't sort of say no.
Yeah.
So packed up, and I met Billy Wingrove and one of his guys, a guy called Sam. I'm forgetting his surname, but Sam, so he's his manager, you know.
Yeah.
At the airport at Heathrow, and he just said, "Look, this list." He showed me a list of ideas that he'd come up with, like that before he'd even spoke to me about it. So we just chatted away and stuff, and then when we got on the plane, he obviously went off in business and stuff like that. But yeah, so we got there, and we met with Roberto's agent, a guy called Paul Brighton, real nice guy. He came in like a day or two later, and then we sort of, they ended up getting us into Miami's training ground. So
yeah, he's been there.
I've been. I went at the end of last year. Oh no, beginning of this year. I went because through UCFB you do like little trips, conferences.
Yeah.
So I was at the stadium every day for a week, and I went to the training ground, and I went to kind of sports centres. So I went to watch the basketball. I went to watch the not American football because it wasn't on, but the ice hockey I've seen.
Yeah.
All through UCFB.
Wow.
Didn't meet Beckham or Messi, unfortunately.
I met Beckham's son.
Have you met Beckham's son?
Romeo, yeah. He was there. I didn't get a photograph of him, but I tell you, that's
another story.
Yeah,
we'll get on to that one.
I think we might have to do another podcast.
I think
I know. Sorry, So we got there, and we picked Roberto up on the way. So we were coming from like South Beach, Miami, because obviously it's in Fort Lauderdale. So we sort of picked him up, met him at his whatever it was, apartment or wherever he was staying. Lovely guy, and then we went into Miami's training ground and stuff like that. And so then they started doing all the filming and had all the crew and stuff. And so it was 30 odd degrees. It was proper hot, like.
Like in here.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's not as hot as this, but it was
yeah.
Yeah, and we just spent a full day shooting, getting free kicks and just training. And Billy Wingrove just took to it like a duck to water, and the shots he was getting was unbelievable. So then, so they done all that, and then from there, Billy stayed an extra couple of days and stayed there, and then we sort of went out and jumped on the plane to get back. But before we did, like, that's when, like, because I think Romeo was playing for them at the time, so he came in. And he was just standing next to us, quite tall, like, you know. Yeah. And he's about probably your height, like, you know. I looked and I was like, "Oh, hello, mate." I was like, "Yeah, you all right?" So I shook his hand, and then I was sat there because I got Roberto to sign me an autographed shirt, like, you know, Real Madrid shirt. And I'm just sat there with it, and then because Roberto was just standing there with Paul Brighton, his agent. Yeah. And Romeo was like, "Oh, let's get a photograph." So they got a photograph of each other, and I'm in the background like that, like from my sus, like, you know, like just standing there, just looking like that from my CD in like a little doorway there. So that's my photograph of them too.
Oh, at least you're in a
bad,
picture.
Yeah, that photo got loads of likes.
You can say I was there.
Yeah, I was there. I was. Yeah. It's like, who's that little CD bloke? So, and then that was it. So we got all of the videos. They sorted out the videos and that, and then I said to, I got everybody's number, and I just said to them, "Look, listen," because what he said was, Paul Brighton said, "Roberto really likes it that much. He normally charges obscene amounts of money to post on Instagram, but he'll post this for nothing." So I was like, "Oh, thank you. That's amazing. It's great. Wow." Like, you know, it's gone whole circle. You know, it's inspired by him, and then it just went totally, completely full circle, and he is happy to do this. So I said, well. So later on, we got home and everything, and I approached him. I said, "Look, would you want to come on board somehow. I can't pay you anything, but I can give you a share of the company and move forward that way. And so they come back and they're like, right, okay, Roberto will take 10%, we'll take 10% as because Entourage Sport, they represent a load of other top athletes as well. We'll take 10%. Robbo has his 10% and stuff like that, and then we'll help move forward and start with the marketing plans and stuff like that. So then that was wow. So that was great. We've done a film shoot where QPR trained at the big dome near Heathrow, and then so he flew over in November. Done a big photo shoot and got loads of YouTubers and content creators because I got them all for free because I was telling them you get about 5-10 minutes worth of content with Roberto Carlos and you can all collaborate with each other. So I got Eman SV2, I got Ben Nuttall, I got these guys from Italy who are who are they? The Skills Crew.
Yes.
So we got them on board. Harriet Pavlou, she was in there. Obviously Roberto Fenaz from Soccer AM, he came. Big John, he was
yes,
there.
We know Big John. Sorry, I'm speaking on his behalf here.
But. So actually, I've been on Soccer AM as well.
Yes.
He contacted me as well. I've skipped a load of stuff because I keep talking. I'm really sorry.
No, we're going to a podcast.
We'll have to organise a second shoot and get you to talk about even more stories because this is I
got loads, but it's so basically we got all the film shoots and everything. So anyway,
let's get to the.
Since then, we've got some new products. So these are the Mark IV.
Cool.
So
Let's just drum some space.
Here we go.
This is the Curl King.
This is the Curl King.
The Curl King.
Look at that.
Roberto Carlos on the front.
Roberto Carlos on it as well.
Yeah, look at that.
Go.
That's
brilliant.
Cool.
What a picture to have on the front of your bike.
It's not bad, is it?
Inspired by Roberto Carlos. Oh, that's awesome. That is. Should we?
You can open it. Open it. Have a look at it.
If you want to.
Brilliant.
Oh, there's a thing.
That's. Is that signed by him as well?
Yeah, if you want that, I thought I'd bring it for you guys.
Oh,
wow!
Thank you very much.
Well, you can put it somewhere. Yeah. So
yeah.
He signed a load for.
Let's see if you can pop that on the camera for us. Wow, that is
signed Roberto Carlos.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That is. Right, and here we go. Here's
the grand unveiling.
Oh wow!
And get the little bit out.
Look at how nice that looks.
That's
clean. There we go. That is very clean. So you've done away with the.
So I've done away with the metal, the magnetic pivot, and had it unscrews now, so you can sort of set the depth.
Okay. So if you can see at the bottom there, so you can see there where you got the. Kind of see there where you've got the little spike, and then this is the new one where you've got. Oh, where's the camera? There we go. There we go. So you've got instead these little. I don't know what you'd call them. Little
sort of grips to stop it spinning because what was happening, it was turning as it was spinning.
Okay.
So that stops it from turning on the grass.
So you unscrew that for the
depth. Okay. And
it's adjustable that way. So you have still got that there, but you've added those grips and you've kind of made it a bit smaller off the ground. As well.
So that's what's. And that does work.
Yeah. It looks brand new.
It's a little bit noisy because of the motor and stuff like that, but that's.
I'll turn that on. Sorry.
Maybe these do work, and we've just not been doing them properly.
Maybe. Let's pass over to. Let's get you. You can show us.
Have a look. That's it.
If you want to.
Oh yeah. So it takes a little while. So there's a delay on its start.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Wow.
I tell you what, I can.
Yes, put a ball on it.
Yes, let's see.
Yeah.
It.
Get a demonstration.
Can I that sort of thing that you got in your right hand?
Yes, that one.
Yep. I'll put that there. And then, so what happens is you sort of turn that on for a couple of seconds. The lights come on, so you can check your speed, and then the direction, whatever you want. You'll approach it from this direction, and it has to sort of wobble in order to keep it on. So then you just press. That starts to flash, and then
give it a second.
Yeah. If it falls off, then we raise it up so it wobbles a bit.
Yeah.
And then this will go to 600 RPM.
Wow.
See how it.
Wow.
Look at that.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine kicking something like that. That's mental.
Yeah.
So this is how quickly Roberto Carlos can spin a ball.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So when you kick it, it automatically stops.
Oh wow.
So this is the retail version.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what people can go out and buy.
So that people can go out and buy this. I mean, they can buy the professional version, but I'll just show you the difference between the retail and the professional. So that's that.
Move that little bit of.
So that spins at 600 RPM, and that really can adapt to the wobbly balls. and stuff
Put
like
the,
that.
put
So
the bag on.
with a professional version,
we're gonna.
which is kept the name
It needs to come out.
Pro Magnus.
Right.
So the Pro Magnus is the non-retail
Look at
version, is it?
Yeah.
This is the professional version.
Yeah. So this is the
I'll let you
professional
undo
version,
that.
which looks pretty much exactly the same, different colour.
So what are the differences?
Well, this one's silent.
Oh.
Okay.
This one's silent. It comes with a
Ooh.
remote control.
Okay.
It comes with fast charge stuff as well. We
Okay.
have multi-charge docks as well, so being in a club. And then if you look at the bottom, there's no pivot, there's nothing.
No.
Okay.
See,
what-
there's some grips there.
Yeah, but that thing in the middle, that round, it's a pancake motor that does direct drive
Okay.
Oh.
underneath.
Yeah.
So then,
Right.
the reason this other one makes a sound is because of the gears.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not because it's rusty or anything like that. It's the gears that sort of
Make the noise. Yeah.
make the noise, you know.
Yeah.
Where there's no gears because it's direct drive. So
Yeah.
if you put a ball on that,
Let's give this one a go.
this
yeah.
one,
Do you guys want to quickly have a look just whilst?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Go on,
of
'cause I haven't
course,
really.
yeah.
I've just kind
Have a
of
look
taken
at
that
that.
one.
That's alright.
So it looks pretty similar, other than the fact you've got the bottom. That's
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Um,
definitely.
so it's similar. This one goes to 900
Wow.
RPM.
Yeah.
So
900?
900 RPM because I thought, well,
Wow.
what with the modern day balls and stuff like that.
That's so much show and tell on a
Yeah,
podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm
brilliant.
loving it.
Nearly
yeah.
killed me
Put
dragging
down
that up
there.
the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, so this one goes to 900 RPM, and as it's a pro one, it doesn't need to wobble if you've got a decent ball.
Okay.
So if the ball's perfectly round or not too wobbly, then it will work.
Yeah.
So the reason the other one's got the wobble is because kids generally they sit on the balls,
Yeah.
balls are or whatever, you know, then out of shape, and obviously you want it to work all the time. So
Yeah.
that's why that wobbles and stuff. Where
Okay.
this one wobbles slightly, but hopefully with this ball, I know it's a bit flat. So this one again spins at about 900 RPM, but you'll notice it's silent.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's the pro. I mean,
That's
I've just got the remote you mentioned there. I'll just
Yeah.
show you guys that as well. If you can zoom in on me somewhere, which camera?
that camera.
That camera. There you go.
I
So
mean,
you can
just look at the ball in
see
the
that.
bottom corner of the
Yeah.
screen.
as the ball's spinning. Yeah, let's go back to that.
Wow.
Complete. See, we just talk about the control there, and no idea it was spinning because you can't hear it.
You can't even hear it.
But you
Yeah.
look at it there and like, and is this 900? Is it? This is 900.
This when it lights up, it'll be 900. So that's 900
getting
You
RPM.
can see it getting
Wow.
faster.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a top speed there now.
Wow.
and does it?
I don't even think the cameras actually are fast enough frames per second to pick that up.
No, it's not.
It's actually faster
It's-
than the frames per
yeah.
second of the camera.
And
Wow.
So is this? If you assume you've tried this one out,
Oh yeah,
can you see the difference in spinning?
yeah,
the
yeah,
kicks you
it
get?
is. It's phenomenal.
That's
Bearing in
amazing.
mind, the scientific study was from 300 RPM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we went and tried this at 600 RPM,
Yeah.
and we were getting 70% improvement in like
Yeah.
20 kicks. But it's not scientifically proven, so we have to say sort of 46%
Yeah.
in 80 kicks. But
Yeah.
this is it should slow down now because it sort of spins at a certain time.
Yeah,
It turns
yeah,
off. But yeah, so that one there's for the pros. So this will probably go to like Man United and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Wow.
so that's the difference. So obviously it's a little bit more expensive. I mean, they sell for around 120. This is about 250, but it comes
Yeah.
with all the other stuff
And that
and
900.
900 RPM.
Would
yeah.
you go back to a university and get that scientifically proven at 600 and 900? Is that something you want to do?
Possibly. We've done it at 300, and it's proven that it works brilliantly. What we've done the same sort of tests at 600, and it's coming back far more superior than the 300 one. So we're happy with that. You know, I could spend a fortune and do that, but I don't know. We might do.
Maybe.
We might do. I
Maybe.
mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we like I still speak to Kathy Craig and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, let me have one of these," and, stuff like that. Yeah, if you want, like, you know, but
Yeah.
I ain't paying 10 grand again. But yeah, so that's that. We got apps for them as well. So you got if
cool.
you download a Curl King app, it's free. It basically does your Curl King app is that
Yeah.
basically that with Roberto Carlos on the side with all the buttons that work. So you connect it to it Bluetooth.
So you control it from over there.
Yeah, you
and
just
change the
control on your
Oh,
phone.
wow.
Yeah.
Aye,
Okay.
and then the same with that. you can download the Pro Magnus app, which is pretty much that. So
Yeah.
when it does launch, we'll do competitions, giveaways, signed stuff like that.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Billy and
Yeah.
that, you know. So
Amazing. Yeah.
Well,
totally made a mess. Haven't
no,
I?
no, no, this
No,
is
no, no,
great.
this has
great.
been. This is yeah. I was saying
Yeah,
we've got. You
wonderful.
can
This has
see
been a heck of
see
a
the change
podcast.
where you kind of start.
Start from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got
And
the
then
Pro
now
Mag.
to here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
see
Space
the
age, isn't it?
yeah.
Wow.
It is ridiculous.
Brilliant. Fair
That
play
is-
to you for the idea. I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I think it's perseverance more than anything
Yeah, it
else.
is. Well, it
I
just
mean-
shows the first time you don't succeed.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
keep on,
you
keep
just
on
you've
cracking
got to,
at
like,
it.
and then when you get to a point where there's no return, you've sort of got all the eggs in one basket. You just got to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will listen in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, if you keep trying.
Look at the
people.
camera and shout, like, tell everyone when this is coming out, what they can, how they
So
can find it.
Yes.
the Curl King is it's coming out. It's already out. You can buy it now, but the official launch where Roberto will post it on his social medias and it all goes out properly with all the guys. What's it now? Mid-June.
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 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Perfect. Well, unfortunately, this is
Yeah.
all we have time for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
told you.
I
I
mean-
mean, I'm a talker.
So if you've got more stories,
We will
we'd love to have you
definitely
back
get
on at some point.
Plenty of stories.
You probably
yeah.
don't have to lug the whole thing next time.
yeah, I'll bring a case this time of wheels.
yeah. But yeah, thank you very much, guys,
Oh,
for
thank you for
watching.
having me.
And like and subscribe if you're new around here. This was an amazing podcast.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next week for another Blue Podcast. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
See you then.
Thanks, guys.